Hey everyone, how y'all doing? How are we doing? Good. I want to thank Mr. Kim and Janice and Humanitarian Affairs Asia and all of you for having me today. I'd like to appreciate each and every one of you for opening your hearts and your minds to the possibilities this time will bring. You've already heard such phenomenal speakers, and I thank you in advance for welcoming me, my thoughts, my perspectives, my lived experience, my whole personhood. Sam, I'm probably going to do every single thing that you told us not to do in a presentation, so y'all bear with me. I am deeply, deeply grateful to be here. So you're going to be here with me today, with each other, for the next some odd minutes, and we're going to bind our energy together and create a space of joy, reflection, understanding, and shared solidarity. I know we just ate some good food, so we're going to, it's going to start to settle in a little bit. So here are some things that we're going to do to keep us connected. Number one, I'm going to give you some time to log into Menti. We're going to use that today. Menti.com. There we go. The code, go to www.menti.com. The code is 74119131, or just use the QR code. Yay! Are those hearts? Or those likes? Okay, yay, I see the likes coming. Yes, once you're in, go ahead and click that like button so I know that you are there. Awesome, awesome. Great. As you are logging in, I really, really wish I could copy myself, honestly, and sit alongside you to have the conversation that we're going to have today, instead of being right here behind the podium. But when the times are right, we're going to be able to connect and have conversation on some of the hard work and the heart work that we will all carry today. So I have to warn you. Are you ready? Are you ready to be warned? Okay. Some things that I may share today may bump up against your current perceptions. I challenge you to remember that we're in this together, and I'm not expecting you to do anything that I haven't already done myself. Trust yourself enough that you want to learn and question and remember that this time will only create more growth and more connection. So I also need to make sure that you're here with me. So if you want to shake your head yes, so I can see you, you can do that. Yay, okay, yes, I saw some shaking heads, yes, okay, awesome. If you want to snap at something, yep, you can snap. Okay, if something's funny, you can do a belly laugh, that's fine too. I invite your whole self into this conversation. I've walked into way too many spaces and situations where my own emotions were not welcome. And so I do not want that to be us here today, okay? You can also use the Menti. So we're going to have two different signs on Menti as we continue. So the first one is going to be the heart, okay? When you see the heart on the screen and it's something that's resonating with you and you're like, yep, I love it, I want you to break that heart. Just press it, press that heart, okay? There's going to also be a like button. The like button is, ouch, that was a hard truth, but I needed to hear that, okay? So what's the heart button? Yes, I love it. The like button is the, ouch, but I needed to hear that. Thank you for communicating that truth. So I'm Breauna. My close friends and family call me Bree. I'm from the state of Georgia. I don't know if you can tell by the hey y'all and the southern accent that you're hearing. I'm from a smaller town called Statesboro. If we didn't have the university, it would be a Walmart, and that would be it. That's where we hung out, Walmart. Um, I now live in Atlanta, Georgia, the birthplace of the civil rights movement, about, 30 minutes away from the birth home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm a complete introvert, so I go outside of myself to have these presentations, and then I go home and I sleep for 2 days just to gain my energy back. I traveled here with my wonderful husband and life partner, Chris. I can be really loud. I have a laugh that you either really hate or you really love, and it might come out today. So based on where people are, I'm going to know if you like it or not. You're going to say, or ooh. It's going to be either one, okay? It's not going to be in the middle. I love hot chocolate. So if you have any, right? Who else likes hot chocolate? People like hot chocolate, yay. Yeah, ooh, a lot of you, yay. I love hot chocolate any time of the year. I love thrift shopping. I love to find the things. Oh, yes, I saw, yes, raise hand up there. I love sci-fi movies. And like I said, I say y'all a lot. My mom, she was in education for years, and she retired and taught me the power of human connection. And my dad, you saw him like a little bit earlier. There's my dad. His name is Freddie Hagan Jr., also known as Junebug. That's his nickname. He is now retired. He's a farmer, and you can definitely always catch him right there on his tractor. That's where he loves to be. And so ever so often growing up, we'd be in our town or in a store, and he'd bring me over and he'd say, Bree, come here. I want you to meet someone. And I was like, okay, I'm coming over, I'm meeting someone. This is your cousin. And I knew that it really wasn't my cousin. 9 times out of 10, I knew that we actually didn't have any shared DNA or we weren't related, but it was common for me to always meet a new cousin. Now, when it came to that, and my dad spoke these words, like, this is your cousin, a barrier was instantly broken. Like, that meant a number of things on both sides. If I saw them and they were in trouble, I'd show up for them, right? If they're in need, then I'll support and they'll support me too. And if there's something that I could give, then I would give it. He didn't introduce them by their career, their accomplishments, their degrees, or where they grew up, all of these societal markers that make our mind to really identify who is and who is not deemed worthy of dignity and respect. They were introduced by how we were connected, our relationship to supporting one another. It was my mother and father who taught me what it meant to be a neighbor and what community care really looked like. So I started off applying for AmeriCorps. It's like Peace Corps, but in the U.S. domestically. And I felt like I had arrived, I'm here. And as time went on, though, something felt different. And I felt like I was a little bit at a crossroads. This new space of helping actually felt really unfamiliar. Once I entered into the nonprofit sector, I entered a world of philanthropy that had roles and responsibilities and goals and strategic plans. And I was in boardrooms and staff meetings. And me being a black woman in this space, it confused me and it made me struggle. I was now behind the curtain, and I heard the language that was being used by my coworkers who didn't look like me when talking about the community, mostly folks who did look like me. After volunteer opportunities, I was consistently asked by my boss, did the volunteers have fun? Were they happy? That was the metric by which I was either doing my job or not. As a volunteer manager, that is what they asked. Not about the community impact, not about how the community themselves felt about the partnership. I would see corporate groups and organizations descend upon my community only to take a photo for the annual report for their social media postings and leave, never to be seen again. There was no sustainability, just transaction. I clearly started to see who the giver was and who the given to was supposed to be. And in this philanthropic, systemic, and these racist barriers tried to make sure that I was stayed the given to. I clearly saw ego, pity, paternalism, taking away of choice and autonomy. As a black woman working for nonprofits that served people like me, I saw how dignity was stripped away by these actions. This is what birthed Connecting the Cause. As a person who loved connecting people to causes that mattered to them, I no longer wanted to connect people to cause without them having the opportunity to assess their own biased roots, their perception around the poor, thoughts about need, their racist ideas around my blackness, and the cultures that make up their perceptions as saviors. I didn't want to be a cause concierge, arranging and fulfilling the volunteer and nonprofits' needs and every desire and every whim, even at the expense of my own values. Because of my history of dealing with oppression and volunteerism, seeing communities and ideas silenced or pushed to the back burner because it did not align with the outlined strategic plan, the marketing strategy, or community solutions I saw be repurposed and repackaged as a new innovation. And I knew that I wanted to make a change. I wanted people to think about what it really means to go and partner with a community unlike their own. What responsibility should be taken to ensure that people are dignified, that things are done with them instead of to them. I saw the practice of extraction, of coming in and changing the landscape of lives, of being in humanitarian aid and seeing how black-bodied humans were treated in this space, of being in refugee resettlement and seeing how volunteers oftentimes treated full adult humans like babies without agency, as if they already didn't have and live an entire life before they met them, thus creating this dependency which fed their egos and not created a space of dignity. Communities of color are not intrinsically predispositioned to need help. Black-bodied people are not intrinsically dispositioned to need help. Policies got us here. Racism got us here. Unjust laws got us here, not a culmination of personal poor decision-making or unhealthy life choices. And I decided to do the harder thing. I decided to love volunteerism so much that I made the choice to interrogate every aspect of it, including the ways which the acts of it has harmed me. All have harmed us. I decided to look deeper. And the more I uncovered, the more I realized how much I had also been complicit in acts of harm. And I chose to make the pivot of what Connecting the Cause is now. So this is not me coming to you and coercing you to necessarily stop what you're doing, but more so it's a call to reimagine how you do it. So just like this tree on this screen, the roots of our current run of show of volunteerism are intricately nurtured by an equal distribution of power, paternalism, privilege, and pity. In coming and helping to solve issues, we have become a system ourselves, a harmful system that perpetuates negative stereotypes about the communities we serve, and we become a manifestation of the savior complex. We know that the act of volunteerism itself is not innately destructive. We know that it is a way to connect with community, to build love, to create compassion. We know that it is good. It is the act of volunteerism that when used for a tool for supremacy, pity, othering, self-interest, it creates psychological, mental, spiritual, and physical harm to those on the receiving end of service. If you love volunteerism, connecting and helping others align their time and their skills with causes they're passionate about, if you believe that lives can change as a result of partnering and collective care, then that love must also come with the boldness of making that better choice at all costs. We don't have to choose based on a set of criteria that's already been given to us of what volunteerism is and what it isn't. So today, you have permission. You have permission to interrogate the good. I want you to say, interrogate the good. Interrogate the good. Yes. So today I give you permission to interrogate the good. You're not alone. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to do this together because I myself had to interrogate my good. So my topic today is do something great. So what does do something great have to do with what I've shared thus far? Because, oftentimes doing something great also means understanding the barriers that prohibit us from doing that great thing. So that's what we're going to talk about. Number one, if you want to do something great, you must work to do no harm. Now that I've grown wiser and understood how helping can sometimes hurt, I want to pass this along to you as you are forming and transforming your thoughts about how to do something great. I remember being in college, based on my draw to all things global and international, first of all, in college, I wanted to make money. That was the first thing I was like, what can I major in to make me money? Okay, I want to take care of my family. And I thought that, I want to travel, so I'm going to do international something. And I want to make money, so that's business. Oh, international business. Let's do that, Breauna. So I majored in international business, and I completely failed my first econ class. I mean, it was bad. Even the words like supply and demand, I was like, what is this? Everybody's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, am I in the twilight zone? What's happening? And so I failed my second business class. And I was like, y'all, no, I'm going to have to switch this up. I can't live my life like this. So I went back to my first love, and I was like, what is that thing that brought me so much joy? So I specifically majored in international studies with an emphasis on language, cultures, and traditions, and it was just an amazing fit. My aunts, I have 8 of them on my mom's side of the family, and I asked all of them, I sent them a fundraising letter and asked if they could contribute to my trip to this orphanage. I raised enough money to be able to go. And I had one of those moments while I was there of, how can I do this for the rest of my life? I want to do something like this for the rest of my life. It was one of those real, be the change moments. And when I thought about that be the change moment, even though I was oppressed in certain ways in my home country where black folks are not given the dignity and respect, I carried a Western privilege of being American in a different place. I ended up creating harm. I ended up taking pictures of children without their permission. I then put these pictures and posted them on Facebook. I had captions in these pictures that centered me as the hero of their life, and I was there for 2 weeks. Honduran organizations bent over backwards and were pressured to provide a learning experience for me when that money should have been going towards the mission. Why am I sharing this story? Because one thing that you must take with you as a leader, as a change maker, you must own up to when you've created harm, share about your mistakes openly and willingly to create and foster trust and take accountability for your actions. It's so interesting that the very place where there was a spark in me of how can I be the change was the very place that I also created harm, and I have to wrestle with that tension and navigate that tension. Another way we need to work on not harming is not pitying people. Every single person is born with innate dignity. And sometimes people, systems, instances try to strip it away. Don't be a part of that dehumanization as you serve. I want you to check your own biases and the stereotypes you hold about whoever the other is. What beliefs hold you back from seeing people as themselves? What dinner table conversations or language did you hear your parents say, your friends communicate about the other? What parts have you subconsciously and consciously adopted and believed? Are you the other that people talk about? What beliefs have you adopted about yourself that are untrue? We all want to do something great and have good intentions, but good intention does not always equal good impact. Remember, we are not the heroes of someone else's story. It is okay if they're the hero of their own, and in the process of that, we can be a piece of the puzzle. Another point that I want to make, that if you want to do something great, you must not seek to save, but seek to liberate. There are systems, economic systems, the educational system, the healthcare system that have embedded roots of injustice. Specifically in the United States, when these systems were created and formed, my ancestors were enslaved and we were deemed property. So when these systems were built to allow people to thrive and be protected, I was not considered worthy enough for those systems to work in my favor. Take that history and attach it with barriers that were used to uphold those beliefs: white supremacist ideology, laws, unfair housing practices, prosperous cities created by black wealth destroyed, washed away and replaced with lakes, or ran out. These are root causes of harm, and the root of the harm may look different for you as you are called to help and partner with others. It is a necessity that you understand the why behind the help and tackle that too. This is where liberation happens. I don't want you to just put the Band-Aid on the problem. I want you to cut off the harm at the root. Don't be a part of the transactional exchange where you meet a need, but you don't lift and honor the person that you are caring for. Yes, people need feeding. Do the feeding. People need to have access to education. Create the access. Medical support. Give the medical support. But continuously ask yourself, what makes these particular people in need in the first place? What are the specific causes and variables that contribute to their condition? What truth needs to be told about this issue and about the people navigating this issue? What solutions are already present within the people closest to the problem? I want you to ask the next big question and the next one after that. And y'all, these are big questions. But guess what? This is what you're signing up for. To have the responsibility to take on what these questions are. And I find this inspiring because there's so much more imagination in this room to reimagine and to grow new possibilities for what's to come. And it may not be from my perspective of racism. You may be dealing with unequal power dynamics within particular nationalities in your country, within particular cultures, traditions, class, economic disparity. Whatever barrier that is, make sure to seek liberation for all. I challenge you to be a co-dreamer. I want you not just to know my needs, I want you to know my dreams. Someone who not only sees deficits of the communities, but really understand the vast opportunities that already exist. You are not bringing good to a place that has absolutely no good. Everywhere, every single place has good. I refuse to believe otherwise. Whether it's one person, there's that good. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't see the transformation that takes place in people's lives once they have opportunity. The growth that exists from the human spirit. Those you partner with, I want trust, commitment, and dignity to reign. And these are some things I want us to take away. Number one, people are not projects. Communities are not monoliths. We all have different experiences. I am not my needs. You are not just solely based on your needs. And let's not neglect people while you also pursue the purpose. I don't want you to see my skin or hear my voice and automatically characterize my being by what I need or what you can do to save me. I not only want to be here now, but I want my ideas and your ideas to be here in the future. And I want all of us to help each other to knock down any barrier that has been built up for people to fail. Now, I want you to do something really quickly. I want you to look at someone. Now, listen, okay. You don't have to stare at them in their face. You don't have to lock eyes, even if it's across the room and it's the back of somebody's head, okay? I just want you to lock eyes with some body, a body in this room. And once you're locked, I want you to snap like this. Once you're locked, can you snap? Okay. Stay looking at them, the back of their head, their arm, their neck, in their face. Okay, stay looking. And they don't have to be looking back at you. Okay, you can stop keep looking, but you can stop the snap, okay? Now, as you are locked in on someone, I want you to repeat these words after me, and I want you to be as loud as you can, okay? I want you to say, they take up space. Thank you. They take up space. Yes. They matter. They are worthy. They are necessary. They are necessary. Yes, I love it. I give some snaps. Give some snaps for yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Now, what I want you to do is think about these barriers that I talked about. I don't want you to introduce yourself moving forward about who you're saving. I want you to introduce yourself by what barriers you're breaking down for people. Okay? So now I want you to grab a partner. Now you can maybe need to lock eyes to make sure that that's your partner. And I want you to introduce yourself. And I want you to say, hi, I'm whatever your name is, and I work to knock down the barriers of blank. That's what I want to hear. So connect with someone, introduce yourself, and say, this is my name, and this is the barrier I wish to knock down. Awesome, awesome. All right, y'all can navigate back up here, navigate back up here. This is good energy. All right, and we're coming back together in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, awesome. You know, if you want to do something great, I want you to define and redefine what that something great is. So I'm about to get real vulnerable with y'all, okay? This is a picture of a middle school class. I'm right there in the front with the burgundy and green on. That was, I guess you could call it awkward. I was growing. I'm not going to even call it awkward stage. I was growing into my ears, okay, into myself. And this was actually a picture of me, maybe middle school age, and that was me at one of the universities, and I was a part of a delegation with the Model United Nations. And I remember being even younger than this and gravitating. Thank y'all for the hearts, by the way. Thank y'all for the hearts. I remember gravitating towards National Geographic books. And I was at Walmart at the checkout line, and I kept just flipping through these books of times and places I had no idea existed. My mom saw how drawn I was and sensed a pattern and nurtured that gift. And I would go on to learn that there was this thing called Model United Nations. I participated for years and got to talk about hard issues at a global scale, work on mock resolutions, develop my confidence on the complexities of systems. And this middle schooler wanted to be a foreign service officer. And I wanted to travel the world. And guess what? I did not become that. It actually looks a little bit different. I am traveling the world, and I am being able to speak. And instead of me being a specific delegate, I am now speaking to all of you who are going to shape the next generation and the next generation in the ways that we tackle poverty, those who are unhoused, unjust systems, all of it. So this looks a little bit different, but the mission is the same. And so one thing I want us to realize about doing something great is that the world likes us to position quantity over quality and this sense of urgency over pace and space. I do not want you to buy into that. You have not yet arrived, and it is only because of time and circumstance, and it is okay. It's a part of the journey. I want you to release the notion that you should have it all together, or there is some imaginary finish line that you should have, and that every step is the step towards this amazing impact, okay? A door will open, and then a door will close. And as you get farther and farther along, you will continue to connect to that cause, that impact, and you will certainly see that here is necessary for there. You're going to have to figure out every season of your life because each one is different. Don't let it be daunting. Just take it on and be daring. Look at it like new adventure arising, where you continue to infuse your being with it. Look around at where you are today. You're meant to be here. And guess what? I have not figured out anything. I haven't figured it out, okay? There are people who are here to serve and here to connect. And we don't have to buy into this perception of perfectionism. Please know that your worth is not tied up in your productivity, that you are worthy because you are human, because you are you. We have to realize that we are worthy, so the people that we are partnering with, we recognize that they are worthy too. Now I want you, okay, this is another part. I want you to think about yourself, okay? I want you to either hold your own hand. I want you to hug yourself. I want you to, yeah, you can do the touchy-feely. It's okay. Yeah, you're comfortable in it. I love it, yeah. Do the touchy-feely, whatever. You can put your pinkies together, whatever, some way connect with yourself. Now I want you to say loud, just like before, I take up space. Yes, I matter. I am worthy. I am necessary. You have to know that you yourself are worthy and necessary, because there are other people out there who may want to understand how worthy and necessary they are in your work of change. So what is that one thing that you have gotten a hold onto that you cannot shake? What is that question that you're curious about, that you're sitting with? Mine was volunteerism. So I want you to explore that thing, love it so much that you investigate the good, the bad, the ugly around it, reflect on it, do something, try it out, be accountable to your harm, try it out again. Development and community care is a long game. This is not instant gratification. And if you are looking for instant gratification, you can probably find it here, but it will just be supporting your ego and not be supporting transformational change. So I want us to remember this. We are community-centered. We are connected to a cause that has a community-centered mission. Creating harm towards the communities we serve and partner alongside derails that mission and our own. So we must consistently and fervently ask ourselves, what am I doing to create or carry out harm that derails that holistic mission? What parts of that must I be accountable to for creating that harm? And what can I do in my power to repair and rebuild? What is that something great? Here's my something great. The future of volunteerism will have no four walls. It will not have loyalty to an organization, but allegiance to a cause. It will call out paternalism and will center the community and not the hero. The traditional roles of the giver and the recipient will blur. People will serve because they want to see justice win, and they want to see liberation in its fullness, and not just because it feels good to give back. The motivation will come from a place of unrest, perseverance, and radical love. It won't be posted for likes. It will be a long game, not a transactional action. It will be seized by those who are willing to suffer and give up their traditional mindsets and physical comforts for the sake of growth, change, and impact. It will be the tool used to revolt against power and supremacy. We will be free from systemic harm because people stepped up and saw that humanity over need. In introductions, a person's cause and the fight they are connected to will be just as easy to share as their name or their place of birth. It will be a part of their identity. It will turn into what it was always meant to be. It will be radical neighboring, belonging, and community care, because justice will be served. So this is Canaan and Artis. This is my 1-year-old and my 3-year-old. And right now I am so hopeful for them, because this room is full of people who will go into business and service, teaching, social impact, and will affirm their humanity instead of dismantling their dignity. Because you may be signing a particular policy that affects their life. They may be in your classroom where you affirm their dreams. You may be the creator of a symposium, and that they travel and they get to be inspired and feel connected to something larger than themselves. And then they may in turn help enact a policy that changes your elderly care, or that affirms your humanity in some way, or they will work to create an antidote to some new disease you may experience in your lifetime. I know that because of your reflections from here on out, they won't be surmised by a caption on social media where you are centered as the hero of their lives, where they are nameless, but they actually take up space and they matter. So I want to thank you in advance for making a better world for them to be free, and for giving them the opportunity to make a better world for you and to do the same. I will see you on the other side of freedom and liberation, because that is where true service lies. Thank you.